Hello everyone, this is Ahmed Al-Najjar. In today's video I'm gonna introduce my city builder using geometry nodes. So this geometry nodes setup will help us generate a city or a cartoony city just like the one that we see in the screen, and this is the setup that I have used. And also for the modifier, we have all these attributes that we can control our city based on them. In this scene here, I just merged both the city builder and the road builder from the previous video. So if you didn't get that video, go and check it out, and you can also download that city generator or the road generator from my Gumroad. It's for free, but if you would like to support my channel, you can leave a tip there. As well as this city generator, you will find it also on Gumroad, and you can get it for pay what you want, or you can get it for free. And if you would like to support me, you can leave me some tip there. So let's start. And before we start, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give thumbs up for this video. So let me start from a blank scene. I'm gonna hide this plane and this plane, and also the road as well. So we will start from scratch. So what I will do here is that I'm gonna go to this collection and just create a new mesh. Could be plane, cube, whatever. Okay, so that's our geometry nodes holder. And once I get it, we will go and create a new geometry nodes tree, and you can select then the city builder. And it will look like this at the beginning because of the initial setup or the initial configurations at the right hand side that comes by the default values, but we can tweak it together. And throughout this journey, I'm going to show you all the features that we have here. So the first thing is the map size, where you can just increase the map size, and once you start increasing the map size, you will see that all these defects will start disappearing directly. So we have, this is the map size. Now after that, we have the resolution of the map and the subdivision level. So by default I kept it as 4, but we can make it like as 1 or 2, and by that you will get less buildings, as well as you can play with the resolution of the grid that is holding all this setup. So either you play with the resolution to get more buildings like this, okay, by subdividing the initial grid, or you can just keep them as the minimum 2 and increase the subdivision level, and by that you will get a rounded area like this, where the edge crease can convert it to a square. So by this we can convert it to square. And then we have the ground depth, which is this area here. You can increase the depth of the ground. Let me just return it as circle, and this is the ground depth, where you can just put it on a specific place or on top of a table, if it is like a toy table or something like that, a toy city. Now after that, we see that if I go now to the render view, we will see that the buildings are actually on top of the ground here. This is the grass ground, or the ground of the city. From here we can control the ground scale is for the surrounding ground, so we can increase the surrounding ground like this and make the city in the middle, or we can just make it as much bigger as we want. So let me just decrease the ground depth here and go back and check the island connectivity probability. So we see that the island, this is the green island where the buildings are actually built on top of it, is actually disconnected, and the water or the main background is visible all over the place. But if you increase or decrease the probability, you will get more disconnected values or more disconnected ground. But if you increase the value, you will have one big connected ground. You see that a lot of buildings are here. We can control them by the building density here. So if we decrease the building density like this, we can see that some of them will start to disappear and the others will appear. And now if I bring this back, you see that some of the disconnected parts of this island starts to appear and the buildings will go around it. No buildings will be on the ground like this. This is not a typical situation. I don't know why it's happening, but we can just fix it by actually go and change the distribution of this, and you'll notice that nothing on the water, let's say, or below, maybe part of it will be like this, and that's controllable from the menu here, but not all of the building will be inside the water, because I designed it so that all the buildings starts on the ground itself, not on the surrounding ground, on the island, but not on the surrounding ground or water or whatever you would like to call it. Now after that we have the randomness seed, where you can control not the location of the buildings but the shape of the buildings. You can see that when I change that, you see that the building shape is changing, but not the location. Now after that we have the island height. This is the island, and we can control how high it is off the ground, like a mountain or a hill or whatever, or it's just a surface on that area. So we can control that by the island height. We have now the next control. We'll start go to the details a little bit, where we have the construction area scale. Wherever, or the diameter of the building, we can scale it to be like small buildings like this, or small area, construction area, or large area. So if I increase or decrease it, that will change it, but the maximum is, as you can see, because we need to keep this separation between them, and it's the maximum of 95. Okay, now next we have the building density. We talked about that. After that we have the building distribution, so we can control the distribution of the buildings. Building distribution by seed, you have limitless number of options or choices. Down below we have the pavement height, which is, this is the pavement of the building. We can control how high it is or how low it is. So the pavement height, here it is. If I increase it now, you see that the building will be on a higher level of the ground, and you can control how level or how high it will be off the ground. The next we have the building height itself, the building itself, how high it is, and we can control downsize the building size on the construction area. So notice what will happen here. There's a bit of an edge here between the building and the pavement, but if I decrease the building size, now we can see that the building starts reducing its size, and the pavement will look more obvious to the person who sees it. Okay, now next we have also the building height variation, because if we look from the front view, we see that different heights are there, but we can control also the variations of it. Okay, so some of them will be higher, some of them will be lower. Now sticky building probability, we see that almost all the buildings are separated right now. Okay, but we can play with the sticky building probability to make some of these buildings stick together as one building. So I'm merging two buildings as one building, or three buildings as one building. So when I increase this level, okay, you notice that some of the buildings will start merging. If you would change the seed, I think it will be there, but because the building density is a little bit small, so that's not noticeable. Now when I increase the building density a little bit, you notice that these two buildings are merged into one, these two buildings are merged into one, and you can control, sorry, I put a keyframe here by mistake. Okay, so if you see, you notice the changes now, how buildings are connected or disconnected from each other. So you can play with the seed and you can reduce the probability. Now this shading issue is because I'm on the render view. If I go now to solid and go back, nothing happens. I don't know why it happens in my PC. Maybe it's because of something in the graphic card or in what do you call it, the render engine cycles. Okay, now down here we have building variation heights. I told you about that, and sticky building probability, we talked about it. If I increase now the area a little bit more, I notice that increasing the area will give better shapes, but I don't know, on a small areas it does not give a good quality buildings, because some of the edges will be very sharp, like this for example. But when you increase the area, the spacing between the edges becomes more natural, let's say. So keep in mind you are building a city, so a minimum you can have 5 or 8 the size of the whole city, as we can see here. And then you can, the ground scale, you can reduce it to have it just around the city like this. So this is a better looking buildings than the previous one. Now let's continue to the more details, down to more details. We have the seal, we talked about it. This is the building materials. As you notice that some of the buildings having different materials from each other, different colors. So from here you control the material of the buildings, where you, from here down, you can control the seed. Some, you will notice that the changes of the building colors is happening right now. Okay, as you can see, this is 16, this is 15, these buildings has been changed. Okay, and we keep changing across the 4 materials that I have provided here. I don't think we need more than 4. Floor counts is how many floors do we need on each building. So right now we have 5, okay, and we have the offset from the ground, so I can make them to the top, or I can make them starts at the bottom, as you can see right now here. Let me go back to the normal one, because it might be more visible for you. Okay, and so this is the floor count. I can increase the floor count or decrease the floor count, but keep in mind that this will affect as well. You can't control it. It should be synced with the building height, because more floors needs more height, as you can see right now. So that's fine. Then next, down below it, the floor offset, we talked about it. I can move it up to the top of the building, or move it down to the bottom of the building, or make it in a position where I see it's suitable for my scene. Then we have the distance between the floors. I can increase the distance between the floors and then reduce the floor counts. So we have floors, but the distance between them is different, and you can control the distance from here. Okay, then we have the scale, which means how this edge will be big or small. So if I change the scale now, you see that the floor itself has some edge on the building with a specific material, as you can see here. These are the windows, we will talk about them in a minute, but this is how the floor looks like. Okay, there's a pavement for the floor as it is for the building itself. Now we can talk about the Windows panel width, and this is the Windows panel width. We can increase it. This one, the green one. Okay, we can make it 2, or we can make it 1. So it depends on how the shape that you would like to have here. If you make it 0, then it will not be visible at all. Okay, but yet we will have the window size, which is it should be there for the window size, so at least 1. And then we can control the window size, as you can see here. We can make it like this, or if we increase it a little bit more, you will get a glossy building like this. So we have a glossy building. Okay, if I go now here, you see that this is some kind of glossy buildings with cement top and roof. Okay, that's fine, that's nice. And you can decrease it to have different shape like this. So we have different floors with glass windows for each floor or on each floor, and you can decrease the size of the windows to have this shape. Okay, now down here we can talk about the C material, which is this material of the ground, which we call it ground at the top. The grass material, this is the green area here, and we are talking here about the pavement materials. This is the pavement, and building top material, this is the building top. And as you can see here, we have one floor is going up, but it gives like kind of variation which looks nice in this place, but it doesn't look nice in this place. So we can just reduce the spacing between, or the distance between the floors, to something like this, and we have a uniform roof or top for each building. Okay, now then what we have here also is this green. I can change it to red, which is the floor material. This green here, you can change it to whatever you would like to have, like red, for example. If I put it here, red, now this is how it looks as a final shape. Okay, can keep playing with it the way you want. Building distribution like this, or sticky probability, you can just have no sticky buildings. As you notice on the screen, some of them will stick together, some of them will not. And also the seed of the colors, the seed of the stickiness, all these configurations that I just showed you are there in the generator itself. So as you noticed at the beginning of this video, I will just hide this and view this back again with the streets object, which is the Bezier curve that you can see here. And when you put them all together, you can have such a beautiful scene like this, cartoony scene for building. I can just go here and increase the connectivity, but it will change everything and it will change the design, so I have to change the road placement after that. But that's the initial scene. You can make a big city or you can make a small city, put them beside each other like this, and voila, you got something beautiful to work with. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't please forget to like the video and subscribe in my channel, and go ahead to the description of the video. You will find the link to download this city generator, or you will find a link to my Gumroad from where you can download this city builder. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day. Bye bye.